Welcome to Golgotha Bridge, connecting modern minds to the ancient truth of God's Word. It is our goal to connect the modern-day people to the ancient truth of God's Word through current language as well as scientific and technological references. Hey, Mike here. If you've read the Bible, you know that it covers thousands of years of history in the Middle East, Asia, Africa, and Europe. What about the Americas? We Americans just hate being left out of anything, be it a movie, a war, whatever. So, what happened in our own backyard while the accounts of the Bible were playing out? First, I need to point out that when God created the earth, there was only one continent. We now call this Pangea. You can watch my video on Atlantis for more on that. The Americas were part of this landmass. You can look this up on any map, how the continents fit together like puzzle pieces. You probably learned this in first or second grade. So I don't need to go into that anymore. Of course, the land was destroyed during the global flood. Tectonic plates were cracked, plates drifted, water vapor in the air blocked sunlight, and triggered a global ice age, which we are still recovering from. This is evident in global warming. The Bible mentions the Nephilim, who died out during this flood, but were somehow recreated after the flood. Now, we can learn a lot from the book of Enoch about this species of humanoid creature, and they were horrible. Then there are prophecies that they will return in the days of Noah, according to one interpretation of those prophecies. It will be in the days. It'll be in the end days as it was in the days of Noah. Most dangerous of what we know these beings, they were cannibalistic, they were warriors, they would kill and eat humans, and they even enslaved entire populations. We learn about these from Hebrew culture. However, other cultures worshipped them as gods or demigods, because they were half human after all. When the fallen angels were worshipped as titans and also gods. In both cases, there is a parental element, often reproducing with humans to make half human and half divine beings. The titans give birth to the gods give birth to the demigods. Do we see this anywhere else? So many of the East Coast tribes are monotheistic. I'm talking about the Native Americans now. Many of them were monotheistic on the East Coast. This is a rare religious structure. It's rare all around the world, really. Furthermore, many of them have common linguistic traits. The Algonquin call their creator god Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh. What's weird about this is the Hebrew names that spell out God's, or the Hebrew letters that spell out God's sacred name, Yod-hey-vah-Heh, or this spells out Yahweh. The Cherokee name for God is Yahyah. It's like the last letter got dropped at some point. Yod-hey-vah and Yod-hey-Vav-Heh. They're just spelling out the first three of the four letters. There are many Native American tales of giants, including the Cherokee, Navajo, Lakota, Delaware, Spokane, Apache, and more. In some tales, they were destroyed with water. The Choctaw tribe called them the Nahulu, and the Hebrew term is Nephilim. It turns out most tribes or First Nations people have stories of a worldwide flood, usually wiping out our corruption or the giants. And usually one man and most of his family survived on a large canoe, just like the Ark. To read more about the Native American account of the flood, check out the Answers in Genesis article on the subject. They do it really well. I'm going to include that in the description of the video. as they did a much better job than I would be able to do on that. So then the Cheyenne and Lakota tribes have a tale of a great war, and a prophet communicating with the Creator, and a mountain that crawled like a bear and crushed an opposing army. Jesus told us, "Truly I tell you, if you have the faith the size of a mustard seed, you can say to this mountain, 'Move from here to there,' and it will move. Nothing will be impossible for you." Now, there were these Native American tribes which had some aspects of God's truth and history around the world. Not all did. The very name America literally means land of the feathered serpent. This is not the Holy Land. I know there is a popular religion in America that claims that America is part of the Holy Land. That is absolutely not true. I would say it's the opposite of the Holy Land. It is the land of the serpent. It should be clear from American culture. Look at how many American cultures worshipped serpent beings, which is almost always known to bring knowledge, but also required human bloodshed. What species of serpent was this? Given that the feathers are mentioned, these beings are larger, smarter, and stronger than humans and worshipped as gods. I would say they are likely a type of being known as the seraph or seraphim. The seraphim were a species of heavenly being under God. There's a group of them that were known as the Watchers, who chose to turn against God and actually reproduced with humans to form hybrid giants. These giants would kill and even eat humans. The seraphim from the Watchers did, however, give us technology and cedar culture, as the ancient myths say. I also believe that the serpent in the Garden of Eden was one of these. Now consider how many Native American tribes and nations practiced serpent worship. That's North and South America. Kukulkan, Quetzalcoatl, and so on. The knowledge of God and his enemies, as well as ancient biblical accounts, was in the Americas for thousands of years before Europeans stepped on these shores. However, it's also important to note that the moment that they did set foot on these shores, they committed every sin imaginable. This is America, after all. And that's all I've got for now. I plan to do a follow-up video on this at some point. But that's all. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video and found it enlightening, please consider liking, subscribing, clicking the bell, and sharing these videos. Thank you, and have a blessed day.